Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Scrap Mechanics Survival Mode, and I am in the test branch for a brand new update to the game. It's actually a pretty hefty update. It was a pretty big file size, and there's a lot of background stuff that I can't really show you because it's just based around like bugs and like crash fixes and things like that, but there are some new things to the game, and especially when it comes to the grind of the game, that I'm really excited about, but not 100% satisfied just yet. So in this episode, we're gonna be going through all of the different changes, taking a look at them, experiencing them, and seeing what it means for survival as we have it now. But remember, what you're seeing right now is the test branch, not the official release, so there may be some adjustments between the time that you see this video and the time that they actually release it into the main official branch. So let's go into the craft bot. One of the main actual new things is we have a brand new part here. And this new part is, where is it? Look at this, the chemical container. There's no actual description for it yet, and I was hoping that there would be because I don't know why we need a chemical container. Unless they changed the way that chests work, because I was able, like, look at over here. There we go. See, like this, I got this chest full of chemicals just by hooking up a vacuum pump to it. So if we can do this, why do we need a chemical container? But I'm gonna go ahead and craft a chemical container anyway. Another couple of things that they added to the craft bot that were not here previously is fertilizer. So you can now make your own fertilizer. You no longer have to bring beets to like a big container of beets over to the trader just to get like 10 things of fertilizer. Instead, you can use your seeds, which seeds, I've just been throwing away my seeds because like I didn't need any more seeds, especially for some of this basic stuff here. So if we have 10 tomato, 10 carrot, and 10 beet seeds, we can get ourselves 5 fertilizer. So if you've been wanting to do some more high tier crop farming, like with pineapples and broccoli, they take a really long time to grow and give you really high level raids. So now it's much easier to obtain some fertilizer so you can speed up that process and not have to deal with so many raids. Another thing that they've added into the craft bot, let me start crafting the chemical container while we're talking about this. Another thing they've added to the craft bot is the battery. We could not craft batteries before. The only way you could get batteries was from either loot chests or destroying tape bots, as far as I know. But now, if you have any electric engines, you can now use chemicals and scrap metal to craft yourself some batteries, which is awesome. All right, so now I got myself this chemical container, so let's put it down and see what it looks like. Okay, interesting. Oh, hold on. Hold on a second here. Why do we need this? Why a chemical I am very confused about this chemical container. It is just like a water container. How many, here, let's get some chemicals. I guess it can hold just individual stacks of chemicals. Now, the weird thing about this is it doesn't have a connection point. If you look at all the other containers, we have a spud container right here for ammunition. It has a connection point so you can connect it to something. We have a gas container right here. This has a connection point so you can connect it to, obviously, your engines and they can use the gas. Our water containers, we connect up to our water cannons, but the chemical container, it does not have a connect point. So why would I want to use a chemical container that can only carry 5 stacks of chemicals when I should just be able to use a chest that can carry 30 stacks of chemicals? Unless they have some plans in the future for things that use chemicals other than the craft bot. Because the only reason right now you would need chemicals is to put it into the craft bot as a recipe, which you can just use these chests for. The only reason that we would need a chemical container is if some object that we have has to pull out of the chemical container to use the chemicals, like during some type of active process. Like a water cannon that shoots chemicals. Oh, imagine if we had a chemical cannon. That could be pretty interesting. So maybe they have some type of use, or the other thing is maybe they've gotten rid of the chest's ability to harvest chemicals. Let's go test this out right now. All right, I do not have an extra vacuum pump, so I'm just gonna go ahead and craft one in my station here. But before we go out and try to experiment with gathering these chemicals, let's address some other stuff that they've updated, which is really good, but I don't know if it's good enough yet. So to craft these wood blocks here, it used to take 20 scrap wood to craft 10 wood blocks. Now they've adjusted it so it only takes 15 to craft 10, which means that when you're gathering scrap wood, whether it be from like an abandoned like shack or whatever, or from the trees that aren't the high level trees, that scrap wood will get you much more wood once you convert it in the refinery here. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and start doing that. The other thing that they've changed is oil and glue. Oil and glue was a big issue for a lot of people because it was super slow going. If I go underwater here, the glue clamps would get you 1 glue, the oil nodes would get you 1 oil. But now, check it out. Now the glue clams and the oil have a chance to get you between, I believe, 1 to 4. So the glue clams kind of feel like the ember trees when you break them. And then the oil, you see, I got 1 oil there. And here, let me bring down the oil over here. So you can see I got 1 oil down there. And now we got 4 oil from that one. So now I have 5 oil already. That would have taken me so much more time to get 5 oil. That one got me 2. So it seems like both glue and oil, from what I've seen so far, it's 1 to 4. I haven't seen anything get me like 5 or anything more than 4. So this should hopefully decrease the tediousness of trying to farm for oil and glue, oil especially because gas, depending on what you're doing, you can end up using a lot of gas. Oh, they've also, if you listen really carefully, they've adjusted the sound effect of drowning. It's kind of sad. Yeah, so they added new sound effects into drowning. And speaking of sound effects, I think they added another sound effect for the sputtling gun as well. The sputtling gun used to not have a wind-up sound effect, but now, if you listen closely... let me get away from the craft bot. It's really subtle. It's really, like, it's weird sounding. Listen. Yeah, so now there's like this weird, it sounds very plasticky for some reason to me. It's a weird, like, grindy sound as it winds up. So yeah, glue and oil should come a little bit faster, but a lot of us really want is us to be able to use vacuum pumps on oil. I want, like, we can use it on chemicals, we can use it on water. Oil has kind of like a similar object in your inventory as like the chemicals do, so I really feel like we should be able to vacuum up the oil as well. So hopefully they're gonna plan on doing that. Another good change they've made, which is great for multiplayer, is you can now drop your tools on the ground. I don't know if you guys knew this, but tools were undroppable previously. If you tried to drop them, it just wouldn't happen, which meant that if you wanted to give one of your fellow players one of your spud guns or something like that, you needed to first find a chest or put a chest down, put your gun into the chest, and then they would pick it up from the chest. And if you didn't have a chest on you, too bad. They weren't going to be able to get the item off of you. Oh, I almost forgot. Apparently concrete requires less stone. I think it used to require 10 stone to make 10 concrete, but now it requires 5 stone, but they've increased the cost of water and chemicals. I think it was like 1 or 2 of each of these. I don't actually remember, but now they've increased that by quite a bit. But if you can use your vacuum pump on water, then that shouldn't be too big of a deal to get a lot of water. And we're gonna go test if the vacuum pump still works into a large chest on the chemicals in this episode, because I really want to see. I can't figure out the point of a chemical container right now, as opposed to just using a chest. So that's something that we're gonna be finding out. Another thing that they've changed apparently is paint. Where's the paint? Here's the paint. I think it used to be 10 to craft 5 ammo, 10 flowers, but now they have a 1-to-1 ratio, so 5 flowers will craft you 5 paint ammo. So that's a little bit less grindy. Honestly, I'd never really focused too much on painting yet, but I'm sure if I was like really trying to paint big builds, then that would be a thing that I would focus on, and it would feel a lot more grindy at that point. Another thing they've changed, we're gonna have to wait till it gets dark though, is apparently glow sticks. I actually have some on me. Glow sticks now, yeah, we cannot tell at all. So we're gonna have to wait till dark, till nighttime, and we're gonna have to use the glow sticks. But apparently they emit light while you're holding them, so they can work as like a small flashlight. But I don't know how effective they're going to be. They're definitely pretty effective when you throw them, but as a handheld flashlight, they were completely useless. Now they're probably a little bit less than useless, and we'll figure that out later. All right, so we have a large chest on us, we have a vacuum pump on us, and we have a chemical container on us. So we're gonna go out now, and let me see, any of these empty? All right, actually, I'm just gonna empty this one out, And that way we can just take it with us and we can get even more chemicals when we're out and about. All right, so now we can carry this with us. Oh, and actually, speaking of, we should be able to take 4 pumps with us. So I'm gonna steal some of these. Boop, boop, boop. Now we've got 4 pumps, and that should be enough. Oh, and a switch. Oh, that would have been so bad if I forgot to bring a switch with me. All right, I think we are ready to head out. Also, they added a new sound effect apparently for hunger and thirst. So I'm just gonna let my hunger and thirst run out on this adventure, and we'll see what kind of new sound effect we're gonna be listening to. And am I just now noticing that this is not even? This is not even. How did that happen? There we go, that's even, right? All right, off to get some chemicals and see if they've changed how chemical harvesting works. Oh, actually, it's dark now, so hold on. While it's dark, let's go ahead and get into one of these areas, and we're gonna see what it's like with and without a glow stick. Like, I can hardly see, at least on my screen, I can hardly see what's here. So I do this. Oh. So this is new. This isn't bad. This is tolerable. I approve of this. I think this is good enough. Because the issue that I had is when I was on, like, stuff like this, like, I can't even see what kind of ground is below me. If there was, like, if I was on a platform or something and there was a hole in the ground, I couldn't even see it and I would fall through holes. But now, see, I can see that there's, like, a hole right here and I could have avoided that and I didn't. And now I'm, like, actually kind of stuck. All right, there we go. So this is a welcome improvement. I like that. I think that is a good idea. I think that we've been asking for flashlights or something. I think that's tolerable. All right, off to the chemicals we go. All right, we've made it to the chemical pond. It is very, very dark though. So now that's gonna be the moment of truth. Is there a purpose now to the chemical container? If they made it so that we can't go into large chests, I'm gonna be not happy. This actually increases the grind if they've done that. But if they didn't disable the ability to vacuum into the chest, then I see no point to the chemical container just yet. All right, so I think this is the first time I'm actually gonna show myself getting chemicals out of a pond like this on the channel. I've always done it off camera before. So the way that I usually do it is I build a platform. You just need to make sure that this goes into the water. And then you wanna make sure that all of the points are available in the water. There we go, that should be good enough. And I will attach this chest just like that. So now I can go ahead and attach one vacuum pump, another vacuum pump, and go and put one there, one there. I think I gotta press them all going in. Green means in, I assume. Put down the switch, attach them to the vacuum pumps, and now we should get... Look at that. Okay, so if we can do this, why then do we need a chemical container? Here, let me go ahead and put a chemical container down then. All right, so I should be able to just move this vacuum pump over here, put it on in, hook it back up. And yeah, look, now we got this filling up, but there's literally no point. There's no point in having this fill up if I can have these fill up for so much more chemicals. So the only explanation I can think right now is that some point in the future, we're gonna have something that shoots chemicals or just uses chemicals outside of the craft bot. Because right now, I think the craft bot's the only thing, unless I'm just forgetting something. Well, no, because this can't hook up in anything. We need a connect point on this chemical container like we do with our gas containers and our battery containers and our water containers. So yeah, this is strange. This is odd. This is an odd addition. I don't really know what the point is, but I'm gonna go ahead and let these chemicals collect all night. And hopefully by morning, I'll just have a whole nother batch of amazing chemicals. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about there, and we have filled up all of the chests. The chemical container, large chest, and a second large chest are now full of chemicals. Didn't take too long, just a little bit of boring waiting. So now I gotta bring all these back to my car. All right, so we're still not hungry. My hunger and thirst is actually lasting a lot longer than I expected it to, but I think now it's time to head back. It's daytime. We don't have to worry about the glow sticks anymore. I'm also gonna actually gather corn on the way back because we're having a bit of a shortage of milk happening very soon. So as I farm this corn, there's a couple of things I'll highlight that I cannot show in game, or at least not in this episode, just because of the nature of them. Apparently they've made an update to the tape bots during raids. The tape bots, I guess, used to primarily target you, and if they couldn't see you, they probably wouldn't do that much. But now, according to the patch notes, tape bots sometimes shoot random parts when raiding. So, Great. Now I have to worry about random parts in my base that I'm not even near, that the tape bots might just be like, that part doesn't need to be there. So that makes me a little bit concerned for my watering system if I have another tape bot raid. Because I don't want them to just suddenly shoot a part of my watering system. I might need to just start adding protections to my watering system or something. Apparently, they've also added some adjustments to network lag when it comes to multiplayer connections. Because network lag was really, really, really bad sometimes in survival for whatever reason. Sometimes it'd be fine, sometimes it'd be terrible, which has made multiplayer Mondays kind of interesting when we're trying to play. So I haven't had a chance to personally test out the multiplayer yet, but hopefully it's noticeable. All right, am I gonna have this entire field of cows that I had last time? That'd be really, really nice. I had 8 cows right over here. 8 cows, and now I have 0. 0 cows over here. Fantastic. Well, that's kind of sad because I came prepared. I have a lot of corn. Do you think this is enough corn for Bessie? All right, here we go. Here's the cows. There's a decent amount of cows here. So what I'm gonna do is just I'm gonna clear out my inventory and then just replace everything with corn. Okay, cows, here you go. It is feeding time. I'm just gonna literally put down all of my corn right here for these cows. And I'm gonna leave that other cow over here too. Here, let me just do this right now while they're eating. All right. I know you're a little far away. You probably can't see it yet, but there's a gold mine of food here. We're gonna get nice and fat. All right, here we go. There's gonna be so much corn on the ground for these guys to eat, and this is gonna turn into so much milk. I hope that these guys are close enough to my base that they stay here while I'm at my base. That way this can, yeah, my base is loaded in. So these guys, all this corn should still stay here and they should be doing their thing. I'm literally just surrounding these cows with corn. All right, how much milk did I get so far just from this? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, so much milk. It just keeps coming, so much milk. All right, well, I'm gonna let them finish their eating in peace while we go back and add these containers to our farm, or our craftbot chain over here. By the way, Hank the Haybot is still with us. We'll go say hi to him soon. But we got important matters to attend to right now. Here, let me get my inventory all organized again. All right, container number 1. There we go. Container number 2. There we go. Now we have a lot of chemical. We need more water. If we want to make concrete, I mean, what else do we need chemical for? I mean, I guess there's some other things that use chemicals somewhere. Batteries, but I don't really even use batteries, to be honest. All right, and we also got this useless thing right now. I guess I'll take these out and add these into one of these chests here. And we'll put this in one of our interactive parts chests over here. Oh, I'm almost thirsty. I'm almost thirsty. We'll hear the new sound effects soon. Gonna put all this milk in here. Hello, Hank. As you can see, I adjusted his cage a little bit. I made it a little bit less resource intensive, and I think it works better because now he doesn't try to hit me between the slats from the last episode. He just stares at me. All right, Hank, you hang out there. I'll be back. If you ate anything, I'd give you some food, but to be honest, I'm not sure Hank actually eats anything. I think his entire purpose is destroy farmers for unauthorized farming. Oh, wait, listen. Do you hear that, like, low rumble? I think that's the new sound effect. It was happening before I actually got hungry or thirsty. That was interesting. It was really, really subtle, so I almost didn't notice it. I was, like, hearing this sound I never heard before, though. And I think that our tummy rumbles when we're getting close to starving. But it's super, super subtle, so I almost didn't notice it. They might need to increase the volume of that to be more noticeable, because it almost didn't even alert me to the fact that I was starving, or thirsting to death, dehydrating. And look at all this milk. Good job, cows. They actually got through all that corn pretty fast. So I guess it's better just to meet them over here than to start bringing cows back that are just gonna run away from me anyway. You guys did a good job at that. We refilled on our milk really, really quickly there. Yeah, check it out. We got our milk container right here, and it was down to like 3 or 4, I think. And now we've got this much milk, but I'm gonna take 10 with me. All right, and actually now that it's dark out, let's see how glow sticks fare underwater, because I would almost never go harvesting underwater because it was just too dark, but I don't know how this is gonna, You know, it's still not really that useful underwater because glow sticks are only working for extremely close range, which is good for seeing the floor underneath you, but trying to find glue clams and oil at a distance, it really, really doesn't make much of a difference, and you gotta take away the glow stick just to bring out your hammer anyway. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. I do need some oil though, so I'm gonna try my best to find oil out here while I'm waiting for the sun to come up. Because we're gonna go on a logging run since we really, really, really need wood if we're gonna keep building this ocean thing that we're working on building. But now I think glow sticks are going to be something that I'm going to carry on in my inventory at all times, just in case I want to use it as a flashlight when I'm out and about at night. So that's a new change that's going to be in my play style. And we're going to be getting hungry soon. I'm going to keep an eye out a little bit more intently for this new hunger sound as well. All right, I'm hungry. Let's listen. I'm not hearing it yet. It might be because I'm underwater though. Okay, let me go up to the surface, see what the hunger sound, see if we can hear anything different. Now I hear it. Listen carefully. Yeah, it's like such a subtle rumble. I think they need to increase the volume of that. Yeah, it's really, really hard to tell that it's even happening. So, really hard to hear when we're hungry. All right, and the day's work is done. My inventory is full of glue and oil, and I even got rid of some glue to make room for some more oil, and some batteries, and like, some circuits I dropped too. I dropped a bunch of stuff that I didn't need that much of compared to oil. So yeah, that just makes it really go a lot quicker. Like just a single outing to get oil, my inventory fills up way, way, way quicker than it used to. So I approve of this. I really, really do think that I hope that they're going to add the ability to use the vacuum pump like you can with chemicals, but on oil. And I'm gonna go ahead and make myself some gasoline. So I never actually paid attention to this very much, but it looks like it's a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 oil equals 1 gasoline, so that's not bad. All right, I've crafted a bunch of gasoline and I've filled up most of my vehicles with it, at least the ones that I'm going to be using. So I think we're ready now. Let's go out and do some farming. And this time I'm gonna focus less on trying to find the big trees because the smaller trees are gonna be a little bit more efficient than they used to be when it comes to getting us actual wood. Whereas the bigger trees give us directly actual wood, which is really, really nice. At least the smaller trees won't be such a bad conversion ratio anymore. Guys, I came back after a night of very unsuccessful harvesting due to some glitches and stuff, and Hank escaped. He's just hanging out, though. He's just hanging out by the traps for some reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Hank back in his cage over here. Oh, really, Hank? Really, Hank? You're gonna do me like that? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Here, hold on. Yeah, all right, come on in. I know he's just gonna keep escaping, but I kind of feel like I have to put him back in here. All right, Hank's back in his cage. I know he's gonna escape again. It's the same thing that's happening with the cows, I'm pretty sure, where the cage obviously is going to despawn and he's just gonna end up walking around somewhere outside of the cage. But I've been having some issues with my logging vehicle. These are issues that come off and on. But I have issues with logs falling out, logs not grinding correctly, and I have this issue of it just slides across the ground all the time. And I was trying to log some trees on some very, very uneven terrain, and it just became like impossible to stay steady. So one thing I've heard is that the potting blooming cactus is, for a 1-by-1 block thing, is pretty high friction. I think it's more friction than the wheels, which is just strange to me. So I'm gonna build a couple of these. I need a couple more pistons. We're basically going to build ourselves some stabilizers. All right, so I don't know what to expect with this, but I've added some cactus stabilizers. So they do this and they're supposed to add more friction, but as you can see, I'm still kind of sliding a little bit, even though the weight is clearly on the cactuses. And I know it's cacti, but I'm just gonna keep saying cactuses. So let's go try to harvest now that the sun's about to set in a minute or so. All right, here we are. So if I close onto this, now normally you'll see once I would attach it from the ground, I would just deal with a lot of sliding like this. So now let's see if I activate my cactuses. I mean, it helps, but it's not perfect. We're still gonna keep sliding, unfortunately. So let's just do our best then to get through these trees. All right, I'm heading back. I filled up the front 3 containers and a couple more, and I've learned from my experience that I need to rethink my logging technology. This thing is just not consistent enough, and it just doesn't work well enough for its purposes. It's nice when it does work, but the fact that it doesn't work all the time is really frustrating when that happens. Hey, Hank is still in the cage, so that's kind of nice. So I think I'm going to try to come up with a new design for logging that is hopefully going to be more consistent. And I also want it to be able to refine as we're logging. So I'm going to get another refiner and we're going to put that on there. So we're not going to need to have so many of these things, and we can just kind of go indefinitely until a chest fills up or something, which should be really, really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and drop these off. We're going to start crafting ourselves some wood blocks now on both of these guys here. These are actually going to craft faster than we can probably get the materials out of here, to be honest. But there we go. Even though this is just scrap wood, it should get us a lot more wood than it used to get us, just in the mere fact that the amount has been decreased by like 25%. So yeah, if you have any suggestions for a logging machine, leave those down in the comments below. And before I leave you guys off, I actually got to call attention to, if you guys remember when I tried to do the no weapons warehouse run, I thought it was like virtually impossible, and I challenged anybody out there to try to get through a warehouse using no weapons, killing no tape bots whatsoever. And somebody actually did it. They spent like 30 hours at least trying to do this. Go ahead and check out a link down in the description. There's a link to a video that is a 7.5-hour uncut, just run after run after run, attempt after attempt at trying to do it, so you can see how he managed to eventually do it. Really, really impressive. A lot of dedication on that, so shout outs to Wooly Griffin for actually being the only one that I know of to succeed in a no weapons, no kill warehouse run. All right, if you guys want to see some more survival content or other videos on the channel, then go ahead and check out this playlist on the end screen right here. I hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.